Hi there, wonderful awakening beings and spiritual souls. Jo Rose of JoRose.com, numerologist and energy forecaster. It's been a while since I've made a video. There's been a lot going on in my world, and I've been choosing to sit with it and work with it and really feel the energy. There is a wall hanging that I have in my bathroom, and it is here: the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. I purchased this wall hanging. There's a big star that actually hangs above it, but I purchased this wall hanging when I felt my world was so dark and I was doing my best to shine the light, and I realized that the darker the world was, either the harder it was to see or the brighter I needed to shine. And when I shared in a couple of previous videos that normally when I'm dealing with numerology, I stick to the positive aspect of the number, even though I know there is a negative. And throughout the videos, I gently pop in what may be disempowering you, but my main focus is to raise the vibration. May 2020 is a 9 energy. I explained that in my 9 forecast video. 9 is about endings, releasing, conclusion, letting go, transformation, forgiveness. It's a number of humanity, and I feel there's been a lot of things going on that's affecting humanity, and yet humanity is a part of what's going on. I'm not sure where you are with anything on your journey, but I have spent this period of time since lockdown, even though it's slightly being raised right now to be less of a lockdown, I still find it very restricting. Yesterday, my mum was rushed back into hospital again. She should never have come out, although if you recall that video, I was paranoid that mum was in there. I had so many fears going on and felt that she wasn't a part of this virus, but will become a statistic. Honestly, I think anybody that has passed away due to the consequences of this virus, when it's all over, they all need to be remembered as heroes. Heroes to help us understand more of what's going on. Heroes because they're shining the light for us right now. Over this month, I have had many obstacles, and I'll come back to Mum in a moment, but I have had many obstacles. My neighbour's been building his new house, or their new house, since the 16th of March, and I have no problem with them building the house. There's just 2 things I've requested, and that is that they don't start before 8 a.m. I don't mind what time they finish, and that they don't light a bonfire. And if needs really must, although I still think it's not right to have a bonfire, is please do it when my doors and windows are closed, my washing is not outside, it's not a sunny day, certainly not a bank holiday and a time that we're spending in the garden. Do it at 6 p.m. It's light enough and long enough that it can be done. There was a week, maybe it was last week or the week before, I'm not sure, I broke my toe. And I say I broke my toe. We never know if we break our toe, and I'm certainly not going to go to the hospital, because in the past when I've broken my toe, they've told me that there is nothing that they can do for it. But I broke my toe, and I believe that any illness, ache or pain that we have will come up in the body. And my first book into this was Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And this book has taken me so far in my awareness to how illness and ill health often stems from my mental and emotional, even environmental traumas. Now, There is another book that I refer to outside of what I call the simple terms of the Louise Hay, and that's called Metaphysical Anatomy. And here, Metaphysical Anatomy. My friends take the mick. It's my yellow Bible. You know, Jo's either got a numerology book or she's got this particular book in her hand. But I decided to look up broken toe or bone problems, and I share with you. It says here, to start with, that you often feel caught up in circumstances that make you feel resentful, pushed beyond your limits, or out of your comfort zone. Well, this build has certainly been doing that, and I have attempted to speak to my neighbours. There's been other things going on, and it's become energetically draining. This also goes on to say, you felt it necessary to suppress many talents and positive aspects in order to be accepted and respected by others. Now, this is true. As much as my journey has opened up new perspectives and new avenues, it was disconnecting me from those around me, family and friends. And I didn't want the disconnection. My house is filled with love. My kids say, Mum, why do you need so many things about love? And I say, there's just not enough. And they felt that I might have been saying that they weren't loving enough or showing love or whatever, but generally in the world I felt that love was being suppressed, and I just need to be reminded, if I'm reading outside self-help stuff, I am reading love stories or general connection stories, and the only channel I ever watch if I put the TV on is Hallmark, because I'm looking again for that type of stuff. I want to immerse myself into love because it feels right. I don't know about you, but do you ever play any of these games, mind games, as in Sudoku or Mahjong or something like that, that every so often there is an advert that pops up, and I have to literally either hide my eyes or hide the screen, because it could be that little Nemo the fish is about to have hot lava all over it. What I have discovered is the media, the gaming industry, society, the marketing, everything is desensitizing us, and everything is in what I would say a lower vibration. I can't watch this little cartoon Nemo or the sheep or whatever it is being played out get hurt. I feel it. Am I an empath? I must be. I'm certainly sensitive. I've explained before, I'm a 22-4 life path. I have a couple of other master numbers in my makeup, along with some normal solid numbers and some karmic debt numbers. I'm a whole, I was going to say menu or recipe. I'm whatever. I'm made up of all of these things, just as you are. But I'm inquisitive and I have to find out answers. So I feel just to be connected, and love wasn't just working, because I tell everybody it's not about loving someone or loving something. That is not love. Love is everything, warts and all. Love is accepting people or situations where they're at, and even down to this pandemic that we have right now, we need to accept that and then learn to move forward. But I have been suppressing my voice, and I had posted on my Facebook page that I can no longer whisper. I need to speak out, because I wasn't speaking out so that I wouldn't be further rejected, and rejection something that I've been dealing with my whole life. But I chose to speak out because I could no longer hold in, and I thought or felt or said or shared or all of those things, that I would rather die shining my light than let my light die and follow a way of existing that didn't feel right. So in this period of time where I hurt my toe, or just before, or was it that day, I cannot remember, I decided that I had to let go of my children. I had to let go of being who they wanted me to be in order to be me. not to embarrass them, not to say something that wasn't the norm, not to be what they didn't want. And yet I raised them to be exactly who they are. And I realised I wasn't walking my talk. I was diminishing. I was deflating. I was depleting myself, and things had to change. So that's when I decided to speak out. And it's interesting because it said here, in order to be accepted and respected by others. But what I have discovered by speaking out, so those that were around me, okay, so they may fall away, they may not speak to me for a while, it may take them longer to catch up, maybe I'm not right about a whole bunch of things, but when it feels right to me, it feels right, and I can't avoid what resonates inside. However, I have attracted people, some that I know and some that I don't, that have contacted me privately or online, and we've had conversations, whether it be written or actually physically speaking to one another, and realizing that so many people understand or feel or sense things that I feel and sense, but have held back because of the ridicule they get from others. When we hurt ourselves, it's an accident, and we often hurt ourselves because we don't want to hit out at someone else. I'll go on about Inside Out, that movie where all emotions are equal, and I 100% genuinely believe that all emotions are equal and none should be suppressed, and that includes shame and guilt and anger and pride and all of those things. We need to work through them and see why they're coming up and let them guide us to move forward. It goes on a number of things, but I'm going to just move on, because the following day my neighbour decided to erect a fence, one that they wanted me to pay for, one that was technically mine, but they had gone against everything I agreed, and I had said no. I had asked for it to be taken down, but I went in there and I thought about it, and came out and I said, if they're prepared to foot the whole bill for the job that they were here for today, one that I assumed, not one that they had agreed, but the one that they had agreed with me, I said if they pay for it, they can put the fence up. They did agree. The fence went up, not as suggested, but I wasn't paying, so I let it go. But then there were some threats that came along from my neighbour, and then there was words that, how can I believe I'm a loving, kind, caring person when I'm not? And this really, really, wavered me. I didn't know where I'm going or what I'm doing, and I struggled with it. The next day, when I had time to think about it and look at the fence, because I couldn't look at the fence, my foot was not moving, and I looked at the fence and I made some inquiries, and I was told that yes, it's a patchwork, yes, it's something that they wouldn't have had done, this is the fencing guy, and everything I had said made sense, etc. I thought it's time to go up a level and deal with this. So I sat there with my feet grounded on the grass, on the other garden, not this garden, and started to create an email. And while I was creating the email to the council to talk about the bonfires and things, I started to feel dizzy. I lost focus, and I was getting a scratchy feeling in my throat. My tongue began to tingle. I felt nauseous. I was sick. And as it went on, my head began to pound, and I never get headaches, and my head began to pound. And the next thing is, I was so tired and drained. I lost consciousness, because when I ring 111, they say I passed out. What I discovered, not that my mind was focused, was that I had carbon monoxide poisoning. I ended up going to A&E, and that was an experience. Not everything is 6 foot apart, and the rules are there 1 second and they're not the next, and that's a whole new story. But then I took my book and I looked up poisoning. And this is interesting because it says here, there is something in your life that you need to get rid of. You may be in an emotionally toxic and unhealthy circumstance and or relationship. People are causing you a great deal of stress, testing your boundaries and putting you in positions that you do not want to be in. The body does not lie. When we let go of the outside information, when we let go of what is coming and we don't understand, if we go inside, we can find our answers. And in my last video, I said, what if you could find the truth? And I shared with you a kinesiology way of doing this. You can either toss a coin or you can do it with your finger and thumb. So go check that video out. Now, having done that, a piece of information crossed my path that I shared on my my Facebook page, and I want to share this with you now. There is a piece of art by Jean-Léon Gérôme created in 1896, and the story is from an indigenous tribe, and it's called When Truth and Lie Met. So the painting is called Truth Coming Out of Her Well. It tells the story of when truth and the lie met on a summery day. The lie said to the truth, "It's a marvellous day today." The truth looked up at the skies cautiously and saw that indeed the day was really beautiful. They spent a lot of time together, ultimately arriving beside a well. The lie said to the truth, "The water is very nice. Let's take a bath together." The truth, once again suspicious, tested the water and discovered that it indeed was very nice. They undressed and started bathing. After some time, suddenly the lie came out of the water, put on the clothes of the truth, and ran away. The furious truth came out of the well and ran everywhere to find the lie and get back her clothes. The world, seeing the truth naked, turned its gaze away with disgust and rage. The poor truth returned to the well and disappeared forever, hiding therein its shame. Since then, the lie travels around the world dressed as the truth, satisfying the needs of society, because the world in any case harbours no wish at all to meet the naked truth. The body does not lie. If something doesn't feel right, it is not right. Intuition has been suppressed, and it's time to go within and build this back up again. I've been down several rabbit holes over the last couple of months, and I have discovered its mirrors. What I have been raised to see as the truth is actually the lie, and what is the lie is the truth. Some people believe there is no darkness. They class themselves as living in the 5D. I'm not sure where I live, 5D or 3D, but what I do know is there is a darkness, but it's not to be feared. Just like pain and illness and discomfort is not to be feared. There are only lessons, no failures in life. And when we understand this, we stop seeing the darkness and we see the light. We stop seeing the failures and we see the opportunities. This 9 energy that we have in May 2020, it is a time of transformation. It is a time of the cocoon period. The caterpillar munching and taking it all in the cocoon, and needing to build up the strength to break open the cocoon and become the butterfly that it's destined to be. And that's the same with us, with humanity. When we can come from a place of love, of connection, of compassion, we are stronger than anything else. And what is going on in the world right now, to me, feels very dense and very dark. I have been, for the last couple of weeks, turning off my router before I go to sleep. And this has been really interesting, because you're told not to turn off your router because it interferes with your internet, and when you keep turning it off, it's showing there's a fault, so they slow the signal down. So I have been doing a test by taking a speed check my speed before turning it off, and as soon as I turn it on, and maybe once other during the day, just to see what goes on. And it hasn't affected my internet at all at the moment. So I'll continue to do this. But what I have discovered in turning off my router, I haven't dreamed for years. And yet every night I have a dream, many dreams. When you dream, it's the unconscious, your subconscious, whatever, it's coming forward and it's giving you insight. It's giving you guidance and direction. And it's interesting because the other night, I might have even been last night, I have no idea where I am anymore, but I had, well, let's go back a few years, I had this vision that to bring my I was never going to be a mother. I didn't want to bring children into this world because something inside me told me when my children were at a point in their life that was pivotal, whatever the word is it's not going to be the world that I was currently living in. And it's interesting because whatever it was is exactly what is playing out now. So, that's confirmation that vision was true. And certainly I didn't have internet back then. We didn't have a computer. We pen and paper still. Back in those days, chalkboard, and it wasn't even a whiteboard. So I'm talking about a while back. And so they had a vision then, but I had this dream or this vision, whatever you want to call it, last night or the night before, about how that there is a part of humanity that is wakening up or awakened, and there is a part that isn't. And I can totally understand the part that isn't, because we've lived our whole life following a system, following a structure, and believing what's going on by those that are supposedly there for us, like our governments. But more and more it's coming towards this new world order, and governments are not really a part of it because something above this is taking place. And this virus, this situation, is just a part of what is going on. If you think about the economy and your business, and I haven't earned a penny in months, and I don't even know how to buy my food anymore, literally, let alone pay my bills. So back to this vision, this dream. I dreamt that there was those that saw the light. There was those that felt the system needed to change. There was those that were looking inside. There was those widening or broadening their perspective. And they wanted to move in one direction. And there were the others that, as much as it didn't feel right, it was the comfort they knew and wanted to stay there. And the vision was that the earth split. Well, you know what? The universe is always providing insight and information. And I discovered a video, and I'm going to leave a link to the video below. And it's about two girls telepathically talking about various things they have done in their existence. And one girl talks about going to planet Earth and what was going on. And at the end of it, they share about the earth or two earths, and I found that really fascinating, that I would have had that thought, that dream, that vision, and then found a video. So this video is, I think, 2017, or some time past anyway. So it existed, but it never crossed my path. 9 is the energy of transformation. It's also the energy of forgiveness. Over this period of time, I have cried, I have sobbed, I have wept, I have gone into a total, I'm going to say trance, or just not here, working my way through it. I have forgiven myself for having my children, for putting them through the education system, for giving them the vaccines, for telling them what I was told. And that even includes Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy. There are so many non-truths that we have been sharing. It's no surprise that many people can't awaken. I saw a post on a Facebook page today where somebody had shared something. I had shared it a few days back, but they had shared it and said they weren't going to get involved in anything political or put anything up like this. However, they felt that they had to. I started posting up things because I could no longer be quiet. People tell me it's fear-mongering, and I'm going to disagree. I'm living in fear if I don't share. And those that aren't on my path do not need to read my page or watch my videos. They don't need to think like me. But what I find interesting is whatever I think is incorrect and whatever they think is correct. And if I can't follow their way, then they can slate me that I'm ignorant or blinkered or off on some other planet. They've got a whole bunch of words for it. But all I know is, and this is what I believe, is it's my life, it's your life, LYFE. Love yourself first every day. Overfill yourself with love. Take on every aspect, every part of you. Forgive whatever you need to forgive within you. Love you, and then love us. Stop loving something or someone, but love us. Raise them up. It's a struggle for me because my children, they follow the mainstream media. They follow what they've been told. I've raised them well, haven't I? They follow what they've been told, and they're not feeling for themselves. I'm sharing this video because I want you to feel for yourself. I want you to understand if you have an ache or pain or an inkling, an inclination, a sense, a resonance, then go with it and find out what it's telling you. I mentioned before I've got near on 1,000 books, and I will be honest with you, I don't need 1,000 books because all the answers lie within. All the answers lie within. Nobody knows you better than you. You have been with you every second of your existence, whether that be this lifetime or another, your early days as a child or your current days where you are now. You are an amazing soul. You are here for a reason. And if the video that I watched, and I can't remember the name, but I will leave a little picture here so that it makes sense, it's well worth watching. And ask yourself, does it feel right? If it feels right, that is your guide that you need to follow. Because the only person you need to make happy right now, the only person you need to worry about right now is you. And that's you whether you are single, that's you whether you are a pensioner, middle-aged, or a young parent with a child, or a child. when you make the right decisions for you, you actually help raise the vibration for humanity, especially when you realize that we're all connected. We are all one. I'm not sure when I'm going to get back to my expression series numbers. Mum has been rushed back into hospital. She should never have come out of hospital. I feel Mum thinks she's an inconvenience now, and she did go back in because her husband had said he cannot help her to the extent that she needs help. So I am praying that Mum can get the treatment that she needs, and that the doctors and nurses that are with her right now can deal with this once and for all. They said she should have had an operation today, but they've held fire. We've only got this, or I've only got this from my mum's husband, who's got it from my mum, who is a bit confused and dazed right now. We have not spoke to a doctor or a nurse. It's Sunday. Who knows when we'll get to speak to somebody or find out what's going on. She's on a drip for antibiotics, a drip for fluids, a drip for food. I don't know what else she's on a drip for, but she could not get anything else inside her. She is sick constantly, and everything is coming out of everywhere. So it's not a pleasant sight. I feel more settled this time with Mum going into hospital. I feel that whether it's Mum's time or not, whatever the outcome is right, and whether they put COVID-19 or symptoms of COVID-19 on her death certificate or not, should that happen, and I'm not inviting that, but I'm also not gullible or naive enough to know that my mum is not in a very poor condition. Whatever they put on it, and whatever my relationship's been like with my mum, she's still my hero. Because without her, I wouldn't even be here. You know, women, mothers, they are like goddesses because they give the gift of life. There is nothing better than the gift of life. And so you have a life and you've got this gift right now. So I'm asking you to consider that you stop existing and start living, and you stop surviving and start thriving. Remember, it's your life. LYFE. Love yourself first every day. It will raise the vibration, and we will come through this to a better, more connected energy, and it will feel like that we really live in heaven, because this is such a beautiful planet that we live on. And just to prove that, I'm not sure if you can see, but there is a flower here behind me. It's closed now. It was open earlier. It's never been there. I've lived here 10 years and it's never been there. Nature is constantly giving us gifts. The universe is constantly giving us signs. Our body is our sat-nav. So if you've got an ache or a pain, a feeling or anything, listen with your heart. Feel it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Take care of yourselves, be true to yourselves, and love us.